Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. I think I've mentioned this before, but one of the truths Silverlight believes about life is you learn a whole lot about people by playing games with them. And the more complex those games are, the more you realize the way that they process them, the more the way they think about things in their head. And I think it's really underrated. We think of the guys that play Games Workshop stuff and Catalyst Games Labs being these nerdy guys that are in their basement and, you know, chittering about, oh, I can't believe he tried to make that shot, or whatever the case might be. War games actually go back to the 1700s. The Battle of Waterloo has been recreated ad infinitum with countless variations on the strategy. And there's rules upon rules upon rules for this. Dungeons and Dragons, famously, started off as a war game. Oh, yes. The role playing element was added in afterwards because one group of players decided they would do, you know, diplomatic trades. They would marry their daughters and sons off to one another to cement alliances. And they changed the nature of that game from your standard, I put 15 armies in the field, to what we think of today, where Matt Mercer is going around. And so in front of you, you see a large structure. I can't do his voice, I'm not going to try. But where you're describing things, where you're making things happen. And I do happen to be very fond of Dungeons and Dragons. But that's not what we're going to be talking about here. I'm more interested what happens when you sit down and play chess. Now there's a million variations to chess. Not only 3D chess like they were playing in Star Trek, but I can't remember what it is, but you have two boards beside each other, and every time, say, a black piece takes the white piece, that appears on the white side on the opposite board, and the white and the black players are partners. It's actually a heck of a lot of fun. But it teaches you really how to strategize and think, how am I going to take my pieces and get to the other side and do what I want to do, because your regular strategies do not work. Peck of fun, if you ask me. Personally, in the next couple weeks, there's every chance I'm going to be playing my last large-scale organized game. That's simply because we're all getting up to around 60. We all live all across the place, so getting people together is difficult. We've been giving very strict budgets for how we should be able to assemble our forces because we don't want the game to go on forever. That was a mistake we made last time. We made our forces way too big. But the team opposing me has two long-time veterans. One even has more experience than I do. My side has me, the consummate veteran, my best friend who knows how to play, but at the same token, it's not been a focus of his life, and his 10-year-old daughter. Now, a lot of you thinking, why would I involve my 10-year-old daughter when I've got an 11-year-old girl here of my very own? Good question. The truth is, my little girl is still too afraid to lose. And she sees all these, big guys and everything, and, we'll tell stories of the good old days and, drink wine like the grognards we are. But I know my best friend's 10-year-old girl is exceedingly aggressive in her tactics. Like, she catches me off guard sometimes. And I'm pleasantly surprised by it. So, hopefully, In the next couple weeks, I'll be telling you how I beat this crack team of elite gamers with a 10-year-old girl on my team. Trust me, they have no idea what's happening. Almost naturally, she figured out with the game, you know, be very aggressive, move forward, and that's going to take pressure off me because as the only other person with the real experience that can stand up to the other team, I know they're gunning for me. The the strategy is going to basically be take me out because I'm dangerous with anything, and best of all, I got to pick two of my favorite units. My friend, God bless him, he's relegated to artillery support because it's something he's very good at. He can figure out to stay back, shoot missiles from a long way away, and dodge crap. Not me, I'm going right into the edge of the storm. Now, like I said, my opponent, they have a relatively new player. He's played a couple of times before, so can't say much about his experience. But an equivalent, I've got essentially two inexperienced player, and I know the other team sadly doesn't respect them. So I've got to plan around that. So I specialized in fast units that can all move really quickly, and if they get in trouble, move the heck out of there. My best friend, like I said, is long range support, and I'm giving the little girl a solid couple units that she can look after and charge ahead to her heart's content. I have an idea of part of what my opponents are going to try to do, but it's going to be a surprise. The game day, before I really know what's going to happen. But like I said, this tells me a lot about them. This new guy, probably once he gets a load of what I'm planning on doing, is going to be very cautious about engaging me. While the two more experienced players, they're going to go after me like nobody's business, and that's what I want. I want them to follow me into where I can get them an optimum range for everybody else. Let my team come up against me. I'm sure they have a similar strategy. They're sitting around right now thinking, okay, we need to worry about Silverlight. Or at least, if they're smart, they will. Alternatively, they could try to corner my best friend. They can try to weather the storm from the 10-year-old girl. And that's all possible. Don't know yet. I'll be able to react in the game. But you see, right here I'm using my experience in logistics, which I've been doing for decades. Absolutely decades. I'm using that to be able to deploy my units where I want them to go. That's easier said than done, of course, especially when there's people who want to prevent you from doing whatever it is you have planned. But that will help me learn a lot about them. One of the guys did something to me many years ago that was kind of a slime bucket thing to do. But I'm able to let that go. It was a different time in our lives. But you know what? It's going to be fun to see if I can get them to go to retreat. And it's been a long time since I played this particular person. And we've been developing in a virtual vacuum from each other. So it'll be interesting to see whether he uses the same old 1980s tactics or he's actually, updated to the 1990s or the 2000s. You learn so much about playing people. I would almost say it should be part of a job interview. Because you know what? Even if I don't win, I'm going to have fun. And as you can see in my head, I've already analyzed them and figured what, in my opinion, they're going to try to accomplish. And that's a strategic mind. Yeah, you can go out there and just have fun and run around in circles and chase each other like some weird armored race. But it's that thought process I want to see. Again, with my little girl, she's afraid to commit. She's worried everybody else knows something she doesn't. Now, when it comes to Jenga or something where she's won a lot, she is brilliant beyond compare. But when it comes to a game she's not really familiar with, yeah, she'd rather stay back and let the big boys play. And that disappoints me a little bit about her, but you know what? It's how she thinks about things. It's how she chooses to move forward with her life. And that's helpful for me to know. And again, all this is coming just from playing games. Imagine you were sitting down to play a game of chess and somebody said, "Ooh, I don't want to play that, it's too hard." Well, you'd coach them, right? You try to show them, hey, everything's okay, we got everything set. Just sit here and this piece does this, and I'm not going to use my ICBM Blitz package. I'm going to use a much more calm package. And I've tried that, believe me. She just does not want to become involved. Would probably be the best thing. She used to, but she's so convinced I know something she doesn't that she doesn't even want to take a chance. Me personally, the more challenging, the better. Now, this probably has something to do with some health problems I've had for most, if not all, of my life. So it makes me appreciate the fact that at any point everything can be taken away from you. So eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen? And that's the mantra that I am using. With a bit of luck, I might even be able to stream parts of the game, although quite honestly, it's somewhat boring. You declare your movement, you declare your attacks. Rolling damage, I don't mind taking damage, but it's a long process. Okay, I hit with this, it does this to your center torso, to your left arm, to whatever the heck it is. It's a lot of rolling to do it. When I'm running Dungeons and Dragons, I try to strip down combat to the minimum possible, the minimum steps possible, and that's partially so my players can understand what's going on, but also so that they don't sit there. Because I remember sitting at tables and you're the number 7 at the table and everybody gets to go before you, and that's why people tune out of these games. It's not because you're a bad DM or anything else. It's that you got to realize combat, we need to speed it up. And I do that by making it simpler. While I'm talking to somebody else, try to have your next move planned out, because these people are describing what they're doing. Listen. Maybe the orc, you can use a jump spell on and have them make it over the what do you call it? Make it over the chasm easier. There's always a way that you can be involved. That's the one thing about war games is, unfortunately, as engaging as they are for people playing them, they're also pretty lousy when it actually comes to engagement. Yeah, I just said they were engaging, and then I said that they're not engaging. I'm aware of exactly what I said. And paying attention to what's going on, that's critical. You need to know, okay, my best friend just took 10 points of damage. His right torso is going to be screwed. Maybe we should tell him to drop back and I'll move in closer to distract them. Whatever the case might be. Because if you don't, then you're sitting there, oh, you're down? I could have used a healing potion on you. I could have, helped you eject from the cockpit, or whatever the heck you're going to do in those. I'm going to learn a lot about people in my life very shortly, and damn, I am looking forward to it. So with that, we wish to thank you for joining us for this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, share, because sharing is caring. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Click the little bell notification down below. That way you can be included and notified every time we publish a new episode. And we hope you have a fantastic day.